welcome back to The Alchemist and the Scribe. Anae, thank you for joining me again today.
Thank you for having me
How
and
much
being
fun?
the scribe. I am so blessed by this. This is just so fun.
Me
I
too.
think about sometimes I was going, people have said over and over and over again for me to write a book.
Yeah.
And I would go, I'm not a writer, I'm an orator. And I have you as my friend
Scribe.
and scribe. And I can talk all I want to, and you're going to write it down on a piece of paper. So, they have these auditory books now,
Audible.
Audible. All
Yeah.
right, there's a word.
Yeah.
They have the Audible books now, but that's usually the author quoting the book, but
Yeah.
we're doing it backwards.
Yes. Which is
Oh,
even
well,
more
and in
fun.
pieces, in chapters.
Yes. And later it'll come out as a book and everyone will go, oh, so that is how it fits together.
Yeah.
And one thing we want to tell everyone is that these are just snippets of what there is so much more that's going into the book than what we're actually sharing. We just want them to know the process and to see sort of a little bit of what you're doing and the alchemy of isness and how it has come to be. So when it becomes a bestseller, people can come back and go, so that's how they did it.
Yeah, and I just got brave enough to tell it all.
Yes.
I mean, something happened
Yeah.
after my 70th birthday. I don't, it's kind of like you spit on the sidewalk and wear a red hat or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been very silent until,
Yeah.
recently. And now it's just let it be there.
Right.
Because I fulfilled it.
Mm-hmm.
I have fulfilled the story.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? It doesn't matter to me anymore that I think I grew up in a family situation whereby I know from the abusive mother, and like somebody gave me when I was, I don't know, 8 or 9 years old,
Mm-hmm.
a little diary for
Mm-hmm.
Christmas. And I wrote a few things in there, and then I got whipped for it, and I got ridiculed. And so I never had a place of mine except in my brain.
Yeah.
So I stayed very quiet. And of course, I was like you, and we spoke about this the other day, to be seen and not heard. And you had to be, not.
Yes.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I spoke about that to another one of my clients, and how we were punished, because the mom the mom in her need to be accepted and her need to be heard was talking out loud all the time, and the child had no voice. I had no voice.
Right.
I didn't talk,
Right.
And now maybe you can't shut me up, but
Well, I got a strange.
so today, one of the things
Wow.
I wanted to share with you is after the surgery that we talked about in the last episode, that surgery and all left me it left me pretty shy, and it left me pretty wounded from having gone so long without attention, and then the length of time for the surgery, and waking up and my daddy was there. I mean, daddy was always, anytime I was in the hospital and I woke up, that's who I saw was my daddy. And I remember the rails on the bed, and I couldn't turn over, and I was still on my stomach, and you'd been on a breathing machine, so my throat hurt really badly for all that time, because you're on your stomach on a table. They have to breathe for you.
Right.
And so I can remember that I couldn't move my arms because my body weight was on sandbags. And so my body had been through a whole lot. And to come back in it was, and I know I cried and saying I wasn't a baby. I didn't want rails on the side of my bed, but I got really grateful for them because it was the only way I could turn. And I could turn to one side or the other, and they could put pillows under me, and that way, And so getting up from that was pretty difficult, and getting back to myself. And as we spoke about, going across going, yeah, it was at least about half a mile or more
Mhm.
to the hospital every other day to have my packing redone in my bohiny.
Your extra bum
Yeah,
removed and then
yeah,
grown your real butt
yeah.
grown back.
And you know, thank God we had a dress code that I had to wear skirts because it didn't come out like if I'd have been in yoga pants like I wear all the time now, you know. You
Yeah.
didn't have to see it.
Yeah,
But
jeggings
along
would not be good on that.
yeah, along in that time, I really have no idea at this moment what I did that aggravated the absolute tar out of my mother.
Mhm.
And I don't I don't know. You never knew because I mean, Daddy's favorite words to me was, "You go get your mama happy because this is killing me."
Mm,
And so all of a sudden, I had come in and I knew she was sewing in the bedroom that was closest to the kitchen. We had a house that you could walk all the way around, you know,
mhm.
walk through a hallway to the living room, through the dining room, kitchen, and another bedroom and back through.
Right.
And she was sewing, and I had come in from school again, probably 5 minutes late or something. And she turned and she was just screaming at me. And I all I remember is that I don't know.
Yeah.
And I went off to my room and I shut the door, for which she came screaming in, opened the door, and started actually cussing at me. She calls me a little jackass and cussing in
Wow.
the Baptist way, you know,
Mhm.
and uh, just screaming. And Daddy comes home and she tells him something. I don't have a clue what, but what I do know is it included that I told her, um, I don't know what I said. I told her something, and that's what made her angry, and that I was going to get a whipping for disrespecting my mother.
Mhm.
Only Daddy was going to do it. Well, I'm 14 years old now,
Mhm.
so I'm laying across the ottoman with his belt coming at me, and she egged him on that I had lied to her and that I kept lying to her and that I wasn't telling the truth and I kept lying to her. So I was whipped until I told the truth and that I told her I loved her. Mm-mm.
Wow. So let me just set the scene. So you were told to drape yourself over the ottoman so you could get a whipping.
Mm-hmm.
And then he proceeded to start to whip you with his belt, and she was standing there egging it on even more, by telling him that you had lied and you were not telling the truth, and she wanted to, somehow make you say you
Confess
were.
the truth. Well, I had, and part of that was that I didn't have any clue anyway, so I didn't
Sure.
say anything. You know, I'm not
Right.
talking,
Yeah.
and that began to be black and blue and bleeding marks, and it was not pretty.
Mm,
And I would not until my father was exhausted himself and said, I can't, I won't. He quit. Daddy just
right.
quit. But you're not going to make me say, I love you.
Right.
You're
Especially in
not
that
going to
kind of
make me
situation.
say, I love
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
And you're not going to beat me into it either.
Right.
Major day in my life.
Hmm.
And a major day in his life because he realized finally what he had done because she had just pushed him to the point that he just kept going,
Hmm.
and finally when he quit, he was so embarrassed by it that daddy spent, I mean, he spent years, he never apologized, he couldn't.
Right.
But there was an energetic between the two of us that
Hmm.
was years and years and years that I don't know that they ever went away totally.
Hmm.
I don't know.
So his
But
regret and his remorse was shown in that energy connection between you two when he
I do
realized
know
what
that
he
he
had
was
done.
always afraid.
Hmm.
He always had fear that if he said anything, to her in any way that would aggravate her towards me, you know, it was after he died that I realized his silence was the thing that had actually protected me. Because a child, when we're children in these abusive situations like this, the other parent should
Mm-hmm.
protect us and take care of us.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized when he died that his silence with her was what had actually protected me, because when he said something like that whipping,
Mm-hmm.
she would ag on even more
Mm-hmm.
in her righteousness, her right
Mm-hmm.
to do whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and he would follow through.
Sure.
So if he was silent and quiet, it was all up to me to make her happy,
Mm-hmm.
not him,
Yeah.
you know? And I learned right there that that was an impossible job.
Sure. Yeah.
It was an impossible job.
Right.
Now, the full circle on that is when I began to learn about love
Mm-hmm.
and the pureness of love. There are too many faces
Yeah.
of fear
Yeah.
and too many things. And so when I deal with people who are really abused and they want to say, oh, but when it's good, it's wonderful. And I know he loves me. I'm really clear that's fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
It's not love at all. It
Mm-mm.
is control, or it is whatever you want to make it out to be,
Right.
but it's not love.
Right.
And when I tell you I love you, my toenails curl,
Yeah.
and I mean it.
Yeah.
And it's not this, oh, I love you bullshit,
Right.
because she'd pull that crap all the time.
Sure.
But you don't have to believe it.
No.
And then it made me unhappy because we in America, we in English language only have one word
Yeah.
for that. Abuse is abuse, and it has nothing to do with love at all.
No. And
It is
there's
so
no association.
disrespectful.
Yeah.
So I started learning real message of what respect is right there.
Yeah.
And I spent a long time bringing it together and
And you
knowing.
learn that respect and love can coexist. Disrespect and love cannot coexist.
Well, that incident is what drew me into realizing my soul work, my soul impression, my soul longed for the meaning and the true meaning of what respect is.
Yeah.
And that respect and love are twins. They're Siamese.
Mm.
And that if there's not respect for that soul,
Yeah.
there's no such thing as love. What the
Right.
heck?
Right.
It's just this human brain bullshit,
Mm-hmm.
in any way we want to describe it. So if we bring that respect in, you know, would I want to have that beating again? No, absolutely not. I actually asked for it when my mother beat on my chest in my house. I was 42 years old, and she
Wow.
beat on my chest. And I said, Daddy, take your belt off. I'm laying down here on my ottoman this time. You beat me if this will take care of what's going on with this woman. You go right ahead.
Yeah.
If it'll make her happy and we don't have to do this anymore.
Yeah.
And she had lied to him again about Christmas. And she was mad at me because I was music director for a Unity church, and that's a bootstrap religion. They don't believe in Jesus. I was
Wow.
going, Mother,
Yeah.
where are you?
Yeah.
And that was her anger. And when I said, you're angry, she starts beating on me with her chest, her fist, and said, if I was angry, you would know it. Well, hello, if this isn't anger, what do you call it? And that's what I said, and that I got more. But Hello.
And you're 42 at this point.
Yeah, 42. But my papa couldn't beat me that day.
Mm-mm.
They packed up and went home, and she didn't talk to me for 2 years. Well, how wonderful that was.
Wow. Yeah. We take our joys and, whatever we can get.
Well,
So
right.
when did you learn? When was was there a point where you learned about, because I know we all do a process of learning, but was there a point where you learned that, okay, love, what true love and acceptance is?
Well, I, like a lot, have searched for your sole purpose.
Mm-hmm.
If I knew that I was here on a purpose and that I was here to, and I've had too many death experiences, I've had too many things happen that I should have died from,
Mm-hmm.
like being bucked off a horse into the lightning rod. Hello, you know, but I've had too many
And the
things.
hooves right here.
Yeah, with those right here. To say, you might want to think about the fact that you have a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
There is a design. And the more that I really studied my soul and I really opened up to that, and that's another whole experience, but the more that I said, I want to know my soul. I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to know this humanality. I've had enough experience with it. It's over. I'm done with you.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know who I am as a soul. And the soul is so pure. It is so pure. And I hear and see stuff on Facebook about, my soul hurts or blah blah blah. Your soul doesn't hurt. You're hurting.
Yeah.
Your personage is hurting.
Right. This
Your
me.
peopleism is hurting.
Yeah.
Your soul is standing there saying, I'm waiting for you to get it,
Right.
whatever it is. And so what I have looked at in the alchemy and that transformation is, what is the bottom line of what this would be about?
Mm-hmm.
Like that beating was about what? What was it about? If I could name that emotionally, it's a picture on the wall, what would I say that was about? The ultimate lies and disrespect.
Mm-hmm.
This is your child,
Yeah.
the only one you have of
Right.
12 pregnancies,
Right.
of 13 babies. And you're going to beat this child, having had that surgery, having to have polio, having had, this, wow, you know, and having believed in a fucking religion that says spare the rod and spoil the child. Who said that? It's not in
Yeah.
the Bible.
Yeah.
So when I go back to that and I see the ultimate process is, my soul is saying, if I were this soul up here in this space, which is something I say to a lot of my clients, is I'm this soul up here and I look down and I take this opportunity to be a messenger of, the neuron in the mind of the creation.
Right.
I
Exactly.
take this opportunity to say, there's something down there
Right.
right now going on, and I'm this messenger.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus was a peacemaker, but not in a time of peace. He
Right.
came in chaos.
Right.
So I'm smart enough to look at that and say, this is the depth of disrespect
Mm-hmm.
of the gift of life that we were given.
Yeah.
So if I choose to live, then I choose to have respect for my people.
Mm-hmm.
My 70th birthday, I decided I would respect everyone in my life to the point that I never, ever, ever had to apologize again.
Yeah.
So I started learning that growth and that walk with what my soul was saying is, there has to be a return on this planet right now
Yeah.
for the gift of respect,
Yeah.
life, and love. That's what my yeses are.
Yeah.
The three yeses.
Mm-hmm.
Respect life and love.
Thank you. This was an amazing, amazing interview today. Thank you for opening up. Thank you for being so authentic. Thank you for being raw. Thank you. Just, I'm grateful to walk this path with you as always. You know that. Um, this was an amazing event today. Thank you.
You're welcome. My heart has been full
Yeah.
the last few weeks.
Yep.